Today we are going to discuss about the virtual elements, and this virtual elements is nothing but it's the virtual fields in the CDS, which is going to be calculated at runtime by the ABAP layer using the class. And commonly used interface for achieving the same is this one. There are some more interfaces, but this is the commonly used interface. So let's go into the requirement where we can use the virtual elements. Okay, so virtual, as its name suggests, virtual, which exactly does not exist, but we are going to give for our requirement. Okay, so now come over here, and our requirement is what? That we want to fetch some data from the VBAK table with the help of CDS. Okay, and we want to display to the Fury or UI5 application. Okay, so what we have done, that we have written this particular piece of code. We have to fetch the data. Let's suppose some more data we have to fetch. I'm going to give some more data, maybe AUART as order type, some AUDAT as created at something like that. There can be several fields. So some of the fields I have just got it and activate this one. Got activated, you can see here. Now press F8. All right. Now my requirement is that in this particular, sales order. So if we go, what's the transaction for sales order, right? VA03, correct? Yes. So if we give some sales order over here, and what we want to do that, here I'm not able to get that option. Okay, so let me do one thing. I will come here. Just a moment. Yeah. And let me log in /n VA03. So 106 here, and go to click on this header and texts. And here, we have given some text, right? For 106. We want to display this text also. Okay, this text, and you know that this text is going to be stored in the standard text, right? SO10. So this is like not going to be stored in this in this VBAK table, right? So it is not possible like simply you can get some field and you can display that particular text, right? It is not possible like that. So how to do that? This text is not part of the table. You have to use a function module called read text, right? Go to AC37 transaction, and you might have used also the read text in your project, right? Very frequently used function module. And here you'll have to give the ID. So how to identify the ID and all, right? It's simple. Go to, you will have to click on over here, go to, you don't have to go to overview. Here, click on detail actually here. Just click on this detail. Yeah. So it should open like this. Click on this go to and click on this header. Okay. So here you can see that you are getting the detail, right? So this is the name. This text name is nothing but your sales order name, SO name. Okay. Sales order number. Sales order number is your, text name. So here we'll be giving the text order number. This is the language in which we are maintaining the text, and this is the text ID. Okay, and this is the text object. So how I found this detail, right? just we have to find out this detail by clicking on this detail button. Okay, just close this one and it will open that option here, and from here you can go to a statement and click on this header and you will finding this detail. So this detail, finding this detail is the important point. Okay, so I will just put it here in this how to find the detail of the text, right? To find the detail of the text. So you can go over there, click on the detail button, and by that way we can find the detail. Fine. Now click on this OK button and just go to that SC37 transaction, right? And give the ID. So just we capture the ID 0001. Give the 0001 and then the name, right? So what's the name? The sales order number, correct? So for sales order number is of 10 characters. So 00000 437 and 106 is my sales order number. So I have given it should be of 10 characters, and 0 it should be followed, it should be preceded with 0. Okay, the language is English. So these are the mandatory field which we have to give it. Object here we can check it. Object is VBBK, BBBK, right? And click on this button and you can see that that particular result has come. But the question is how we can implement the function module over here, and that's where the virtual elements come into picture, right? We have to use this read underscore text function module in order to fetch that particular data, that particular text. But here it is not possible to implement directly, and that's where the virtual element concept comes into picture. So here what you will have to do, you have to define one dummy field cast as abap.char and just see what's the the data, the TD line over here is coming. It is of how many characters, because that data we have to pass it out, right? So go here and click on this export button and double click over here, and TD line you will be able to find somewhere. TD line, which text T lines, right? This one, all line, this is the header. T lines, this one actually under the tables. So T lines come here, and TD line, this is of char 132, right? So as the same what it is there, you can do, or else like let's suppose it is going to have the multiple line 132 in one line, 132 in another line, 132 in another line. Means if you have more than in one line, if you have more than 132 characters, right, then it will follow into another 132, 132. So in that case, like you would require to have the bigger character size. So suppose we want to give the 500, you can give this one like that. There is no problem. Okay. And here give the name of the element, right? These are the other 4 elements already there, which is already present as a database field, right? Of this table. I'm giving the another the field which is not present, right? So as header text, right? So I've given this one, just save this one, and you have to do some more stuff. You will have to give some annotation, right? So annotation is object model dot virtual element, true. You have to use another annotation which you have to use. You know that CDS is the game of annotation, right? It is powerful due to the power that it is having, the annotation capability, right? So CDS is powerful because of its property of annotations, and these 2 annotations are again going to play a very, very important role. Okay, very, very important role. So object model dot virtual element calculated by this one, and the name of that class. Here you will have to mention the class name. So you can give some class name over here. I have already created a class name. Okay. So the class name, let me check it. This one, I have created this one, ZCLV_demo. Just come over here and see the important point in this class, that this interface you have to maintain. Okay. So if this editor you are not feeling comfortable with, come over here and you can create this class over here also. It is not like that, it is not like AMDP class. It is not like AMDP class. You can go into GUI editor and here also you can create. So you can come here and go to the interface, mention this interface. IFSADL exit calc element underscore read. Automatically this will be populated. You don't have to bother about this. Just to mention this one, this will be coming automatically. Okay. And here you can see the detail. Marker interfaces for SADL exits, right? So this is the part of SADL framework, service adaptation description language, right? We all know when we use @OData.publish:_true, then that gets exposed as a OData service. That particular CDS gets exposed as a OData service. And which frameworks works behind that? Saddle framework, right? So you can see that this is the part of the Saddle framework. And this is another important interface, code exit for calculated. So this is like an enhancement we are doing in the CDS. So if someone is asking that, can you do in the enhancement in the CDS? You can tell, yes, we can do the enhancement with the help of, a virtual element property, right? That we can do. Okay. So this is one thing, and here methods, and under this method, you can see that there are two methods got populated from this interface, right? This interface, from this interface, these two methods are coming. This method is important. This method is important where you have to write the code. You can go into the change mode and here you can write the code. So what we have done that, if you observe, in IT_original_data, these are the import parameter of this method. Okay. IT_original_data, then IT_requested calc elements, then CT_calculated data. So in IT_original_data, you are going to have the data from the CDS. Okay. These are all 5 records you are going to have, but currently this will be blank, right? Currently this will be a blank. If you just activate and run it, you will see that it will be blank, right? You can see that header text is currently blank. Let me activate once again and show you. Contains warning, that is fine because this is not defined, so that is okay. But here you can see that this is blank currently. So what I mean to say that, these all records which we are able to see here currently, this will be passing. Just a second, let me close it. It's creating confusion. Let me run all these records with a blank value in the header text. It will passed over here. Here, go to that class here in this IT_original data. This data we have to move into an internal table of type this SQL view name. This is my SQL view name.
Sir, you haven't written full name, sir.
Sorry?
In 13 color. Full name.
I will give the full name. Yeah, I will give, just I'm trying to make you understand first, and then I will give the full name. Okay.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Yeah, no problem. So this one actually, let me give the full name. ZCL VE demo. VE means virtual element. Okay. So ZCL virtual element demo. Save this and activate it once again. So what we are doing, when it is going to get called that particular class, and in this we have to write the code. And how we are going to write the code? So in this calculate method, actually, we have to write the code. Now let me close this. Okay. So from here, we will be moving the data into this internal table. And this internal table, as I told you, this internal table is type table of, you know, that SQL view name ZAOH underscore extra 11, right? So that all these fields will be there in that internal table, right? If you double click over here, see sales order, document type, order type created at, header text, all this, and this is what you have: sales order, document type, order type created at, right, and header text. So if you know the basics of CDS, it will be you will be getting understanding very easily, right? So what I did, we use this SQL view name for the purpose of defining the internal table, or else what you can do directly, yeah, SQL view we have used, that is fine. Yes, we can use this one, type table of, okay. And then moving the data in this parameter, data will be coming, all the data which is populating over here into this LT underscore data, which we have just declared over here. And then we have declared some, you know, variable LV underscore pass type, this one, so that we can, you know, we can pass to this function module, right? This should be compatible. All this right hand side value should be compatible with this. So we have defined some LV pass of type this TD pass, LV underscore name TD head type TD name, right? So how to find like what we have to give? By going into this read underscore text importing parameter, we can identify from here what we have to declare. This is the basics of our app, right? We don't have to go that much, right? So here read underscore text, you can see that we are putting the loop on this internal table and getting those records one by one into this field symbol and passing the data into this read underscore text. Just I showed you, right? You have to pass the client by default client. However, it is going to be the current client. Like if you don't mention also, that is fine, because by default that is going to take the current system itself. And ID, I told you, right? Here we have taken the screenshot. ID is always going to be same only. Okay, 0001 for the sales order, and text object is always going to be same, VBBK. Only this is going to keep on changing. Okay, the sales order name is keep on going to change. This is based upon the sales order number. Okay, so here you can see that hard coded VBBK, and this is the ID. We are hard coding this is the language, and this is the name we are passing. Name means sales order number, which we are getting from the CDS, and we are iterating over there, and we are getting the data, you know. And the first line itself, like index 1, we are reading. And if you have the more records into this internal table, then you will have to put the loop at LT underscore lines into work area, and again you will have to concatenate all the data and you have to put into this. Okay, so you have to put the loop if you have, but currently, like, you know, just I am considering the first line. Okay, first line. Hope it's clear for everyone, right? And here we are updating this internal table with this text, because this is the field symbol. As soon as it's going to get update, automatically this internal table will be updated, right? This we know already. And at last, once your data is ready into this LT underscore data with the text, you know, we are moving here CT underscore calculator underscore data, right here. See the change parameter. Okay, the change parameter, and this data ultimately is going to get as an output. Let's go and see. Okay, just save this one and activate this one and press effect. And now also it's not displaying. Why it's not displaying? Because, you know, this layer does not call that class. Saddle layer calls that class. So how to test that one? So you have to expose this as a OData service, and you will have to consume in UI5 or Fury application. But at this moment, I'm not going to consume in UI5 and Fury application. Just for testing purpose, from the gateway client, I will call this service. Okay. So at the rate of OData.publish colon true already I have done, and this has been exposed as a OData service, right? and I have registered into /n/iwfnd/ment_service over there, right? So it's everything is set. Let's go and search, and we will just perform the test, and I will show you that, and if you put the breakpoint, let's suppose I'm going to put the breakpoint, now come over here /o slash o slash
Sir, one
iwafnd.
doubt, sir. Here, second line data, table you have used this.
Which second
table,
line?
Starting after method. IT
Tell me the line
data.
number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Second
Which
line.
this
Second,
one? Okay.
Yes.
This is the SQL view name.
SQL view name. Okay.
Whenever we create the CDS, this is one SQL view we give, right?
Yeah, I got it, sir. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. So here you come and search for, already I have, added and everything, but let me show you. _CDS, right? If name of the CDS is this one, then the service name will be _CDS. That is how it is going to get created. So you can see that it's there and already registered. Now I want to test it. So click on the SAP Gateway client, right? It will open this one. And if you want to see the metadata service, you can simply go and check it out, the metadata over here, like if the service, you can see that metadata is loading properly, right? What are the metadata means what are the fields and all we are using over there, sales document, SD document categories. So these are the metadata. It's loading properly. My requirement is to fetch the data from there, right? And to show you. So entity set, select this entity set. The entity set will be same name as the CDS name, right? You can change this name also using an annotation, right? But by default, it is going to be this, the CDS name itself. And now if you click on this exit button, let's see, it should trigger that particular internal, this code actually. Okay, this one. But it's giving the error, internal service error. You can see that it's giving the internal service error. Okay, we will try to identify. Okay, let me first use the format JSON, click on this external value, some error. For backend transaction, run transaction, this. Fine, we'll go and see that one. But before that, let's check the simple check. Okay, header underscore text. This is the header underscore text and header underscore text. This is also fine. Virtual element true. ZCL demo, this is fine. Cast this, it looks good as header text. This is fine. This is fine. We will try to debug now. Okay. So what we will do for that purpose, it's telling that go to that, transaction. This is the transaction, and we will try to explore. We will try to see the detail error. Okay. So come here, go here. Something is wrong. /n you will have to give. And see here, method failed call. This is get calculation info. Method call failed. The method, this is not implemented. Fine. Okay. So I got the problem. So see why it's giving the error. If you are using an interface, then all the method of that particular interface must be implemented, right? This is the basic concept of OOPS ABAP, correct? And it looks like one of the method is not implemented. So calculated one is implemented, right? Big chunk of code is written and active status, correct? But the second one looks like, there is not has implemented yet. So what we are going to do, go into the change mode and let's implement this one. Okay. So see inactive, just you activate this one. So this is creating the issue, right? So that's why, like if we implement any body, right, we make sure that we implement, like, generally we implement all the methods of that interface in the implementing class of the body. Fine, we have done this changes, and let's come and try to do once again. Okay, execute this one, and you can see that 200 status, and now the header text is coming, header 106. This is one of the required company, right? This is what the text was maintained, right? So even you can go and check it out if you remember that this was a text maintained over there. Okay, so let me quickly show you once again the transaction VA03 106. Go to header text, this one, right? So this text is coming properly. Now let's put the breakpoint over here. Like if you want to debug it, right? Let's try debugging. You'll have to put the external breakpoint, okay? Because from gateway we are calling. So it's going to get remotely called, and that's why we'll have to put the RFC function module. So let me close. There are many sessions got opened. Here, run it once again. And you can see that your breakpoint is getting triggered in GUI also. Like, so this is different than the AMDP class, right? In AMDP class will not be able to change or do anything over here in GUI. But AMDP class will be able to debug in the GUI only the ABAP code, not the SQL code. Okay. In order to debug the SQL code, you will have to go into the Eclipse or HANA Studio only. Okay. So this is the point, but here you can debug a step by step because this is a completely ABAP code, right? See, so sales order header, it's going 106. Only one sales order will be there because, you know, I put the where condition, right? You can see that I put the where condition over here. I put the where condition. So it's fetching the data only 106. Okay. And now it's getting all the data over here, LT underscore lines, right? So if you have the multiple lines, put the loop and concatenate together and then give over there. So this is what now, like if you want to remove this one, you can remove also. And let's see. Okay, just activated. It is now activated. Now let's run this one. And in LT underscore data, this time you can see that 370 records is there now. Okay. And here header text info, everything is coming blank, but after running this one, that data is going to be populated. So come over here and press F8. And now let's see. So there are no records, right? Means there's no header text maintained in all. Just I have maintained for 106 and 107 for two sales order headers. So for those two, it should be present. Okay, 106 and 107. Okay, so just I'm checking. At least for those two, it should be present. Because for two sales order, I have created. They say here, it is at last 106 and 107. These are, so for these two I have just created and it is present over there. And if you just press F8 for those two, you will be able to see the data. It should be at last. See here, 107 and 106. So this is how you can create the virtual elements and, you know, use in your CDS, right? So very powerful concept. Like if you want to determine dynamically data of any like virtual field, virtual element in the CDS, this is how you will have to do. With this, let's stop the session over here. This was a big session in the today's class, but there are a lot of learnings from the today's session. So please make sure that you note down, you list all the learnings from the today's session in the WhatsApp group. And with this note, let's stop the session over here, and we will meet in the next session on next Saturday. Any question from anyone?